Welcome back to the One Step Journey podcast, season 3, episode 3. We are back.
We are back.
Thank you guys again, as always, so much for tuning back in, taking another step with us here today. Your journey, our journey, everyone's journey.
Whatever journey you may be on.
Doesn't matter.
Thank you so much for tuning
Whatever
back
journey.
in.
We appreciate you guys. We love you. And we're back, baby.
We are back.
And we're cold.
And we're feeling really good.
Wow. We are great today. We just got hopped out of a shivering cold tub.
Cold tub.
Bro, there was a plethora amount of ice.
Yes.
Like if you're watching on the live stream or you go check out the live stream, go watch how soft I was the first time getting in. It was rough. There was too much ice. I couldn't maneuver.
You're good, my boy. You're good.
But we're good, baby.
You are good.
We're back, man. And
that was my second tub of the day.
I was gonna say you have. I think if the rumors have it, there's a third one coming.
There might be a third one coming before I hit the gym later.
Oh my gosh, we're getting it.
And then maybe one before bed.
Oh my God,
Maybe
four tubs.
Whatever.
Screw it.
Is there such thing as overkill? I don't know.
A TBD.
TBD.
Hopefully not.
Right? But we are here. Just like he said, thank you guys so much for tuning back in, taking another step with us on your journey. We have an amazing episode today, right? The last one was great. We were catching the listeners up on what's been going on in our life. We have been messing around more with the cameras and just doing all of that. Just wanted to give them, obviously, in the last episode, a life update, but we have some huge nuggets on this episode that we are both very, very excited to talk about.
Yes, we are here. Today's topic of the day is leadership. Leadership. There we go.
Amazing. What does it mean to be a leader? All of that kind of stuff. Amazing qualities.
Everything.
How to be a good leader, all that.
Right.
Yes.
And I think in leadership could be in different capacities of life. It could be relationship. You could be a leadership in your relationship, from a business perspective, sports team perspective.
Friendships, whatever it is.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So just when we're sharing some nuggets, think of it from your perspective and how it could be applicable to your life.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
I just want to share that with you.
I love that.
Yeah. So Kepi, talk to us here real quick.
So
Leadership.
I got a question for you.
Talk to me.
The first question that's probably going to come to people's minds when we're talking about this topic. What is a good leader? What is leadership?
Great question.
Right?
Yeah, I think I'm going to start with this. I believe that people think leadership is someone who's in control and just doesn't mess up.
Yeah.
Right? When you think of it from like a different vantage point. But I think a true leader is someone that does what they say they're going to do. You can trust them, you can respect them, and they also own up to when things don't go right.
When things don't go the right way.
And they're not going to have you do something that they're not going to do.
Yep.
Right?
That's a very, very, very big one.
Absolutely, man.
Yes.
Talk to me about you. What's your version?
I would say a lot of the same things, right? Being a good leader is somebody who is going to sometimes have to make the tough choices, but is always going to, at least in their heart, make the right choices. And who's not only going to talk the talk, but most importantly, they're going to walk the walk, right? And they're going to do things by example. Yeah. And they're going to lead and look to do things the right way, leaving a positive imprint and an impact. That's a leader, right?
Totally.
Who is also, just like you said, willing to own up when things don't go right or when they make a mistake or don't, you know what I mean? Things don't necessarily happen maybe how they wanted or how they said it was going to happen. They own up to it.
Yeah. I think I totally agree with you. And I think to piggyback off that too as well, a leader can also be a guide. You can guide people along their journey and destination.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it's going to be the same journey you're on.
Yes, 100%.
But you can still guide them and be a leader from afar, take them through their journey.
Yes.
Kind of like what we do within our podcast with some of our listeners.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're able to guide you guys along the way on your journey and you get to your destination.
100%.
Right, from that perspective. So it's an overarching, it's a very open-ended spectrum answer, but there's so many avenues that you can explore within leadership.
You know what I think is also a very, very, very important trait for a leader is being open and vulnerable. Just like we are with this podcast, we are very open and vulnerable about things that are going on in our lives, mistakes that we've made, all that kind of stuff. And we share that in hopes of people not making the same mistakes that we did, right? Right. Tossing the big rock at a car or, going down bad paths and surrounding yourself with bad people and you know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff, right? I didn't mean to throw you under the bus, but I'm being serious.
No, trust me, 100%, dude.
And learning from the mistakes and sharing it and just wanting to see the next generation, the people that you're looking to lead, make better choices and find a better path.
Right. And like you said, be surrounded by those people that can, it's a strong community of people who want to grow and get to, I don't know what the destination is, but want to find out what the unknown will be.
On whatever journey you're on.
Doesn't matter.
So it says right here, the definition, what is leadership? Leadership isn't just about being in charge. It's about inspiring, guiding, and empowering others to achieve a common goal. But one thing that, leaders do have to remember, it's a responsibility, not a privilege.
That's deep.
Oof,
responsibility, not a privilege. That's so true. That's so true. What is your take on that? You talked about it's
a responsibility, not a privilege. I think something that leaders have to do is you have to think about what's going to come from your leadership, right? When you're looking to guide people, you're looking to inspire people, you're looking to lead them, right? You have to think about the influence that you have. You have to think about the message that you're giving and make sure that it's the right one, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Right?
It sounds like it has...
It's a responsibility.
Right. Well, and I think, too, with that, you work with a multitude of people, different personalities, different mindset, different perspectives.
Yeah.
All that comes into play when you're leading people.
It is.
Right? Because you as the leader have to see that, understand that, and communicate certain either tasks or, motivation, whatever the case may be, to that individual.
100%.
Which could be a little bit tricky.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
why don't you read that second sub point after on number 1?
Leadership is influence. True leadership comes from the ability to influence others positively without relying on authority or titles. Leaders are those who others choose to follow because of their actions and values, not because they're told to do so.
That's the biggest thing right there. Wow. And I think that comes back to a necessity of a true leader being open and vulnerable and being honest and just, right? And making sure that you're doing things the right way so that when people do choose to follow you, right? They're following you because they want to, not because they're told to, but because they know in their heart, right, that this person is leading me in a better direction.
Right. 100%. Which leads me right to next question here is, what do you feel are a couple key qualities of a great leader or a good leader? Great leader.
Are you asking me or do you want me to read something?
I'm asking you personally.
So I would say for me, right, is leading by example, right? A good leader is not going to be somebody that's just going to sit on the throne or sit on the pedestal and tell people what to do. No, they're going to be the first ones to do it, and they're going to lead by example, right? You want to be able to also have a clear vision on where you want to lead and guide people, and you want to be conscious of what you're doing, right?
Totally.
What about you?
Yeah, 100%. For me, someone you respect and trust.
Ooh.
Someone you respect and trust.
Yeah,
those are the two
respect
key qualities.
is huge, but trust is is
bigger.
Yeah,
right. Because I feel those two specifically have to go with one another. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
you can't. Right? Because if you're a leader in a bigger organization or a sports team, right? Yeah. Like quarterback. We'll use your favorite person. We'll use Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Right?
Let's talk about it.
Tom Brady. Maybe people didn't necessarily like him for whatever reason because he had a lot of success, right?
Yeah.
But people respected him because he worked his tail off. He led by example, right? And they trusted him.
And his teammates trusted him.
Because when they were down 28-3 and they came back and won the Super Bowl, right?
Super Bowl 51, the greatest comeback in NFL history.
You know what I mean?
Super Bowl.
They trusted him to get the job done, right? So having trust and respect is huge in terms of leadership, in my opinion.
Honestly, another thing that I think of is just kind of piggybacking off the, that topic of Tom Brady being a good leader. Also work ethic, right? Because Tom Brady was the first person in the facility and one of the last ones to leave.
Yep.
He led by example by pouring his everything into his drills, into preparation, into studying film, into just making sure when they went out there on Sunday, he was going to be able to put his team in the best position to win.
Totally.
Right? Not only just on the field, but off the field as well, right? Yep. Amazing family guy, leading by example, right? Doing all that kind of stuff. You could say what you want about Deflategate and all that bullshit, whatever, right? But
right. We all have our opinions.
We all got our opinions, but his teammates knew, they respected his work ethic and his success, but they trusted him that he was going to be prepared and be able to lead and put the team in the best possible scenario to win every single week.
Always.
Always.
Which made him a great leader.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
For 20 plus years.
Honestly, another one that I was going to say, and I'm not just saying it's because it was on the list, adaptability. You have to be able to adjust and adapt to different circumstances, right? In this life throws so many curveballs at you, right? There's so many things that are going to happen, whether it's the relationship that goes south, whether it's losing your job, whether it's
the sale you lost or whatever.
The sale you lost, or even completely walking away from something that you've been doing for so long in pursuit of other endeavors like you did, right? So many things can happen. You have to be able to adapt, right? And be resilient.
100%.
So right here it says adaptability and resilience. Life and work are full of unexpected challenges. A good leader is flexible, open to change, and can bounce back from setbacks, showing others just how to do the same.
That's so true.
Leading by example.
It's so good. It's so good.
So good.
I mean, like you said, things are so unpredictable.
It
You
is.
have to pivot. You have to understand when to pivot, but you also have to rely on other people too.
Yes.
Right. I think as you're a leader, you have people around you who are also smarter than you too.
Yeah.
Right. That can kind of help you make those important decisions. You know what I mean? I think it's good.
100%.
It's good to have those the community and the
You
culture.
need that.
And I think another thing too on here is having the strong communication skills.
Yes.
Communication skills are tough. So right here it says, clear, concise, and open communication is key. Great leaders know how to listen and ensure that everyone feels heard. They also know how to motivate and provide constructive feedback. I think another thing too that I've learned, people have to be open to constructive feedback, but also knowing when and how to deliver that.
I was literally going to say that. We're
That's
on the
so
same
funny.
wavelength with this. Delivery is key.
It is, because you're not going to do it in front of peers or
Yeah.
colleagues. Those are conversations you have in private.
Yeah.
Right. Because seeing that will bring down the whole morale. And I see either firsthand or I've heard a lot of organizations and communities who falter because of how leadership have communicated
And the
constructive
delivery.
feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, think about it this way, right? Like, we've all had that coach that yells and screams and swears and cusses at you, right? Which works for some of the players.
Absolutely.
But then there's also some of the players where, like, after you study film, right? Like, hey, hang back for a second. Let's walk through these plays and let me show you why I'm giving you this criticism. And it's delivered just in a different manner, but it's still the same end goal, right? Change needs to happen.
Yes.
But it's just how we're getting there and how I'm communicating to you that change needs to happen, right? Because you can yell at some of the players, right? But some of them aren't going to do well to that.
correct. Right.
So
it's the how and the why.
The delivery and the communication skills are absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's necessary.
I know the next one we talked a little bit on here is, we touched on it, right? But is leadership and action leading by example.
Yes.
That's something you're big on. I think
that's
we both
huge.
are, but
We both are.
But I know that you specifically, that is huge.
That's huge for
and
me.
one thing you always tell me that I never forget is that if you say you're going to do something, you are going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a credit to you and how you convey and how you live your life.
100%.
is amazing, right?
100%.
So definitely props to you, brother. That's huge.
Appreciate that, brother. It's just like when we brought William and Joseph over for their very first cold tub, right? We're not going to sit here and stand here and be like, okay, guys, like you get in for 3 minutes and you do it. No, we go first.
Right.
We show you and then you do it.
Yeah. Simple.
Right. Or it's like when we go to the gym, right? And then you whatever it is, we're benching and you put 2 plates on there. Like, this is what you got to do. No, I'm going to go first. I'll do it and I'll show you. Right. Because one of the biggest things, especially like in the fitness industry and all that kind of stuff, that would always like was the biggest peeve for some reason when I was younger and I first started getting into it, into working out, was like going to the gym and then seeing all these personal trainers training people who were out of shape. And it's like, I could never take advice from somebody who's not actually walking, breathing, and living what you're giving me advice on, right? Like, you're not going to be taking, advice on how to become a millionaire from the homeless guy on the corner, right?
It doesn't make sense.
You're not going to be
logically.
taking like weight loss advice from somebody who's 300 pounds, right? So it's just, I don't know what it was about those certain scenarios when I first started getting into fitness. It was just ingraining on my mind. Like, if I'm going to speak to something, I have to walk the walk. Like, you can't just talk the talk and just lead by example. That's big.
It is huge, man.
Right?
Absolutely.
Just like we said here, the power of leading by example. Actions speak louder than words. The best leaders model the behaviors and attitudes they expect from others, whether it's showing up on time, maintaining a positive attitude, or putting in the hard work. Leadership is often demonstrated through actions.
I I love that.
Yeah. Seeing is believing.
Talk. You got to walk the walk.
You got to walk the walk.
You have to walk the walk.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. That's wow. I love that. Next one is authenticity.
Yes.
Right? On the same wavelength, right? Good leaders don't pretend to be someone they're not. They are authentic, which builds trust and a strong sense of community. Leadership is not about putting on a facade. It's about being real and relatable. I know that word is overused a lot. I hate to say.
Which one?
Being authentic.
Yeah.
It is, right? And I know we use it a lot, but I mean, that's just who we are though. You know, and I don't know what another word is for that that we can continue to use. As I'm kind of just pondering that. Sorry, just kind of a cold thought that just popped into my mind after the cold tub.
But do you know why we use that word so much? Because it's important to us.
It isn't. No, and
it's so important.
It is, and I'm just saying from and I agree with you. Right,
Yeah.
it's something that's important to us. But if we're zooming out for a second, you know, I think it is one of those words it is, and that's okay.
Yeah,
but we are
become a bit redundant.
It's all right though,
Right?
We're not going to change.
But right, because we always like to be objective and fair. So looking at it from the other side, using that word and being redundant is authentic.
Yeah,
because it's very important to
true.
us, right? So that's us.
That's true.
And I think another key thing for a leader, just in whatever capacity it is being comfortable in your own skin and loving yourself. Right? Because in order to be authentic and in order to be your true self, you have to be comfortable. You can't be putting on some sort of facade. You can't be putting on some sort of show. It has to be real. It has to be organic, or people are going to sniff that out.
Yeah. Agreed. And it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Right? For example, I was talking to a guy this morning named Mike. Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike.
The guy. And he asked me a question about my journey within fitness and nutrition, and I told him the story. Feels like it's like 4 years ago we did the Kepi physique challenge.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
We did that, and if you remember, you've been telling me for years, Colton, try this. Just kind of do one of these events, and I would say, you know me, I was just probably like, yeah, I'll do it, but I never did it.
Just do my own thing.
Right, and I committed.
Yeah.
And that moment is when the whole lifestyle of my nutrition and exercising path changed.
Yep.
Was after that 90-day challenge, because I lost 22 pounds. I leaned out. I felt great. And that just really jump-started everything. And now I've done, 75 hard. We ran a half marathon.
Yeah.
We're doing cold tubs, following on our wellness journey, motivating others, et cetera. So it is a lifestyle, being a leadership too. So I think that is an important takeaway too, that I'm, reflecting here as we're having this conversation right now.
That's amazing. I absolutely love that.
Absolutely, man. Which then goes right there, right? Leadership beyond the workplace. We pretty much just touched on that.
Yeah.
Right? First one here is leadership in family and personal life. Leadership isn't confined to the workplace. Being a great leader can mean being a supportive partner, a good friend, or an involved parent. It's about fostering collaboration, building relationships, and setting a positive example.
I like that.
I love that. Especially from the relationship standpoint.
I like that a lot.
That's huge.
That's a really big one, especially from, like you said, the relationship standpoint and all that kind of stuff. And it leads into the second part right here, the mentorship and service, right? Yeah. True leadership often involves serving others, helping them grow and succeed. In family life or in a community, leaders act as mentors, guiding others without seeking personal recognition. This is something that resonates a lot with the both of us.
Yeah, especially like you said, the service part.
The service.
I love that. And
just giving back to people in whatever capacity it is, and just helping inspire and motivate is one of our biggest core principles that we just are so passionate about.
And we thrive on that.
We
do, right? When someone, like Mike today, he said he's been loving the show.
Yeah.
He's a newer listener. That fired me up. I appreciate that, man. I really do. And that means that we're on the right path, doing what we need to do, and we're doing the right things.
And leading by example.
100%, man.
We're just doing it.
100%. Last one, handling life's challenges. We touched on this briefly. A good leader in life is someone who can handle adversity with grace, maintain a calm demeanor under pressure, and inspire others to rise above their own difficulties. That is hard, man. That's so tough, man. There's going to be challenges all the time.
Life sucks.
Dude, it does.
It'll kick you, it'll knock you down, it'll kick you in the stomach when you're still on the ground. It won't want you to get back up. And it goes back to another recurring theme that we talk about so much on this show. You don't have to go through life alone.
You don't.
Lean on people. Lean on your good friends. Lean on your partner. Lean on your family. Lean on people that you like. Lean on leaders in your life, right? Because when life kicks you down, sometimes you need help getting back up.
Totally.
Right?
Even when it does kick you down, I think, at least for me, I believe you can relate to what I'm going to say here. We're so driven and we have these goals that we're going to achieve, but there's going to be days that there's a big bump in the road, right? A big bump in the road, and we want to keep pushing onwards and we want to keep pushing through and really challenging and pushing, and it's just like, I think that's a great mindset, but also I believe, and I'm learning more about this with myself, is do I need to push onward or do I need to take a step back?
Yeah.
Reassess where I'm at and figure out, okay, what can I do today? Yeah. Given the mental capacity that I have, I could still be productive. I don't have to always accomplish my whole checklist, this or that. What are the top 3 or 4 priority things I have to get done that specific day? And what can I push to tomorrow? That's something that I'm learning, because I feel no matter what, I've had the mindset of, if I've had 15 things in my checklist, I got to get all 15 done.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a certain order in what I can do to get those things done. There's maybe a couple that are more of high importance as opposed to others, right? Can I push that on to tomorrow? Can I have someone help me with that? So I think the delegation piece and pushing things out is huge for 100%. Being a leader.
100%. And I know that this is going to sound backwards, but sometimes in order to go forward, we need to slow down. And that's one thing that we have been really prioritizing, right, in both of our lives over the last couple of years, is like listening to our mind, listening to our body, knowing what's right.
So true.
Right?
So true.
And doing it. Just like you said, okay, there's 15 things I need to accomplish today, but you know what? Like, my mental health ain't here today, right? My physical health ain't here today. Let me at least knock out a couple, still grow and still move forward, right? Subside the ego a little bit and prioritize the physical health, right? The other day when you were not feeling well, just rest a little bit. That's what your body needs, right? Your mind's a little drained. Your mental health is lacking. Just chill out a little bit, right? Because those tasks are still going to be there later. They're still going to be there tomorrow. We still have time.
Totally.
Right?
100%.
And sometimes, just like I said at the very beginning, the leader knows when you have to make the right choices, and they're going to be the tough ones, right?
Not easy.
It's not always going to be the easy choices, but you make the choices that have to be done.
Right.
It's necessary.
Completely. And I've noticed when I do have that framework, when I do slow down,
you go farther.
I go farther, and there's things that attract to me, right? It's just like they come out of left field.
Yeah.
Right? So
100%.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I love that one a lot.
There's this is so good, dude. There's so much good.
You want to know, honestly,
points.
it's going back to the key qualities of a leader. It's going to be on that talking point 2, and it's going to be sub point 1. Empathy and emotional intelligence. It is huge for a leader. You have to be able to read and understand people. That's really big. A good leader understands and respects the emotions of those that they lead. Empathy helps build trust and fosters loyalty. Emotional intelligence allows a leader to navigate difficult situations and lead with compassion. Sometimes being the good leader is just being a shoulder for somebody to lean on and to cry on.
1000%.
You don't even have to say anything. Just being there.
Just hang out.
Just being there.
Yep.
Just showing compassion, love, empathy. It's not always like
words.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the times when we think of a leader, it doesn't always have to be like the fastest runner, or it doesn't always have to be the person that's worth $50 million. Sometimes a good leader is just a good friend.
My dang.
It's true, though. It's true,
Dropping nuggets, my boy.
Dropping nuggets.
Let's
but
go.
Sometimes a good leader is just a good friend.
Yeah. That's it.
You don't even have to say anything, but like your presence being there, giving somebody that safe space to open up and be vulnerable, to talk about their life or whatever it is that they're going through, just being that shoulder to lean on. Sometimes that's what a leader is.
That's all you need. Yeah. And that's it. Just showing up. But it's hard.
It's easier said than done.
I would thank you. I'm still, my brain's still frozen from the cold tub. But yes, it is easier said than done. I completely agree, man.
That's
I
big.
completely agree, man, dude.
Integrity, though, too.
Yeah,
also,
integrity, honesty. Yeah, that's another good one
Read
too.
that. That's a big one. I like that.
Consistency in word and action is essential. Integrity builds credibility and trust, while honest fosters transparency and openness.
Yes.
And that right there just tells me what we touched on, right? Just the respect and the trust, right? And just, obviously, being honest there.
100%.
I think it does boil down to being vulnerable in some capacity as well.
Always.
It always does. But being aware of that too and being vulnerable, not being afraid to say something and have your colleagues or employees judge you. Do it in a way that it's going to teach them a lesson and you can connect with them on a deeper level.
100%.
As opposed to that I'm the macho man or macho woman. And I say whatever I say.
Yeah, whatever I say, go my way or the highway. Get bent. You know what I mean?
Dude, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, and I think, when we, from the humility part, right? When we look at talking point number 7, right? The balance between leadership and humility.
Ooh.
Right? So I'm going to start with the second one here, right? Okay. Balancing confidence and humility. A leader must be confident in their vision, and they must also be humble enough to listen to others, accept criticism, and recognize when they don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
Wow. That's big, but I will say having that framework and that mindset, it's so true. When you really look at some of the great leaders like John Maxwell or Jim Rohn,
and Bob Proctor,
Brian Tracy. Some of the legends. If you really think about it,
Bob.
What's that?
I said R.I.P. Bob.
R.I.P. Bob. Man, seriously. A lot of them, like, they had such an aura and confidence, but with their storytelling ability, they were humbled, right? Just sharing some of their struggles and their challenges too, and relating to people.
100%.
I think it's so powerful.
I will say one of the greatest strengths that anybody can have nowadays is humility.
It really is so true.
It's the biggest one.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's the biggest one.
Why do you feel people struggle with having humility in today's day and age?
It's ego. It's ego. A lot of everything that's shown, and I think a lot of that stems from social media and the internet, because everything that's shown is always success and it's always good. And we're in this day and age now as a society where we're always comparing ourselves to other people. Yeah. And that's going to be the thief of joy. I'll use the example that we used before. It's like, think about it. You go in the gym and you've been working so hard and you've been busting your ass and you've been trying to, deadlift 315 pounds or whatever it is. And then you finally do it and you're so hyped. And then you look to your left and there's somebody deadlifting 405. And then now you just shoot yourself in the foot and you're like, oh, well.
Guess I gotta go back
you
to
could
work.
just relish in the moment and just be so happy that you just accomplished the goal that you've been working towards. Right. And humility is so key, especially in a leader. We had talked about it before we started recording, right? To me, a leader is being able to. It doesn't always mean that you're right.
Right.
It doesn't always mean that you're correct or you're right. And having that humility and being able to openly admit that you were wrong, or you're open to constructive criticism or change or adaptation, that's a true leader.
That is, right? And because that allows you to connect too with people, right? And that's what leadership is connecting. You got to connect with people.
It is.
You have to, man. So having that humility, like being on this pedestal, people don't want to talk to people who are on the pedestal. We're
100%.
human. Be human.
I'm going to read that first part here, being a servant leader. A good leader serves others first. While they may lead from the front, they don't place themselves above the people they lead. Servant leadership emphasizes the well-being of the team and the success of the group over individual glory. This might be one of my favorite ones right here.
Wow.
Right? Just because you're a leader, just like it says, it doesn't mean you have to lead from the front or you have to lead from some sort of level of superiority. We're all equal.
We are.
We're all equal. Right. We're all the same.
100%. We really are,
right?
Man.
We're all moving forward. We're all looking to achieve a common goal of finding success in our lives, whatever that may be. Some people are chasing money. Some people are chasing change. Some people are chasing whatever it is.
Right.
And it's all great. But we're all looking to move forward.
Always. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. And that's important too. And just having the awareness to kind of piggybacking a little bit here on your point with, being at the gym, you accomplished like the deadlifting 315 and then someone's next to you deadlifting 405, right? Having the awareness too, and the maturity to realize like, hey, like that's great for them. Like what I accomplished was some pretty cool
100%.
shit, right? And it takes a lot to realize that and to accept that.
Yeah.
It's hard. But when you can get to that point in life, I really feel that you can continue to lead other people. Yeah. Right? Because you don't know who you are inspiring by deadlifting 315.
Yeah. 100%.
You don't know. Great doing that's fantastic, right? But you don't know who you are inspiring. Yeah. So I want to share that because I think that perspective and the awareness component,
it's huge,
crucial.
You remember when I was working at H4? Right? I do. Shout out to Hank over at H4. Yep, I was over there for about 2 years. I trained over 150 people, right? And every single time there was a new member that was coming, right, for a little trial period, or they were coming for their very first session, I said the same thing to everybody, right? I made them give me a verbal commitment. I don't want you to worry about what anybody else in this class is doing, because it was group fitness, right? I don't want you to worry about what anybody else here is doing from a weight standpoint, how fast they're getting things done, or things of that nature. I want you to focus on yourself and just getting better.
Boom.
Right? If we're starting on whatever exercise it is today with 10-pound weights, let's work on getting up to the 15s. I don't care if Jack over here is doing 80 or Melissa's doing 40. I don't care. I want you to focus on your journey and you getting better, right? And I made them give me that commitment every single time. Good. Don't worry about what anybody else here is doing. Yep. It's me and you.
And that's what makes you a great leader.
Let's just get better.
Right. Leading other people. And like I said, just focusing on your lane, your vision, where you want to go, right? And I think too, I mean, there's so much more to dive into, right? But I think there's one thing I want to touch on before we kind of wrap things up, because I feel like we can talk on this for a little bit, right? Yeah. Is leadership is a lifelong commitment. Yes. Talking point number 9.
Yes.
Right? So the first point here, leadership is not a role, but a responsibility. Leadership is more than just a position. It's a lifelong commitment to growing, influencing, and inspiring others. The truth of the matter is, you're not going to read one leadership book and then a week later you're just a leader.
Yeah.
No, 100%. But I know it's kind of funny to you and I, but like, I mean, for some, it's the truth.
It is.
Right? It's just like, and I hate to use this. I for some reason, this is just my take on it. Like people who like go on a diet and then revert back to what they did before their diet. It just doesn't
like afterwards.
You have to. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle change.
It's a continuation of learning, growing, going through challenges and tribulations, and it's a lifelong commitment.
It's a lifelong commitment.
It is, man. It really is.
That's huge.
So, and I know there's another talking point. Number 2
another
here,
one.
Talk to us.
I absolutely love this one. Right. Everyone can be a leader. Leadership is not limited to certain roles. Everyone has the potential to lead in their own way, whether it's in the workplace, at home, or in the community. It's about how you show up for other people. I absolutely love this one. I think one of the biggest traits, and it goes back to humility and vulnerability, right, of a good leader, is knowing that maybe they're not fit to lead in every situation, right? Like
that's deep.
Like think about it in this way, right? Let's say that you got 3 friends, right? And one of them is a financial guru, the other one is like a personal trainer, and the other one is like a salesman, right? Well, and we're all 3 leaders, right? If we're going to some sort of like sales summit or sales leadership, the salesman is going to be the leader in that pivotal, in that situation, right? When we go, and then as soon as we step into Lifetime Fitness, Equinox, whatever, right? The personal trainer is going to be the one that's going to be the leadership in that situation, right? And then we sit down and we're looking to branch into financial investments and letting our money grow and work for us. Then the financial guru guy is going to take leadership, right? But that doesn't mean that all 3 of those friends in that situation aren't all leaders.
Agreed.
Right? You're just leaders in different avenues, if that makes sense.
It makes complete sense.
And being able to have the humility to be like, and subsiding the ego enough to be like, okay, in this situation, I'm going to take a seat and I'm going to let somebody else lead me because I'm not fit to run this, right?
Not yet, maybe.
Not yet. But like in this moment, somebody else is a little bit more like criteria than I am, so I'm going to let them go.
Right. It's having the maturity to realize, hey, I'm usually in the front seat, the driver's seat. I need to sit in the back a little bit and watch them drive.
Yeah, I'm at least going to go in the passenger for a little bit and just kind of study and see this.
See what's up.
And then learn, and then maybe the next time I can drive. But for right now, there's somebody else that's better fit to drive this car.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
a big one right
there.
there.
That is big. And I love that you brought that up because that's really important.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, I mean, everyone can be a leader.
Everyone can be a leader.
But like you get to define what that leader is too.
Yeah.
I think that's another important thing. It doesn't have to your definition of leadership may be different than mine or to Tina's. Shout out Tina, right? But
shout out Tina.
But seriously though, you know what I mean?
She's never seen Remember the Titans. I'm sorry to throw you under the bus. I'm so sorry. I had
we might have to watch that tonight, so we might have to, babe. So anywho, but no, I mean leadership, lifelong commitment. It's a journey.
Yeah.
It's just like this podcast. It's a journey. Just like the vlogging's going to be a journey.
It's a journey.
Right? Just like the cold tubs are a journey.
Yeah.
Right? There's days that like it's going to be 50 out, and we're going to get in pretty easily.
And there's days where it's 10 degrees and it's hard to get in.
Or there's days like today where there's 6 inches of ice and we got to finagle our way in.
Literally.
I mean, right though. I mean,
sometimes
seriously.
you just got to move the bullshit aside, make no excuses, and get in.
100%.
That's literally it.
Right. And perfect example though. Let's touch on this. I tried to get in the first time, right? Could I get in?
No.
I had to step back. And you had to lead by example.
And I was like, listen, this is what you got to do, my boy. You just got to start kicking some shit around and you got to get in.
I stepped back, allowed Kepi to lead, and I learned. Honestly, though, it sounds so silly, but it's so true. It's prime example right there. Mm-hmm. For sure.
And think about it this way, just kind of touching on that last point that we were talking about, right? When it comes to everyone can be a leader and kind of knowing your different roles, think about it this way, right? Let's say that we were at a podcasting convention, right? And we got Chris Williamson and we got Joe Rogan and all of them, and they're going to be the leaders in that focal point, right? And then maybe we do some breakout sessions and we meet a couple other people who are just starting a podcast. Okay, well, maybe in this conversation, right, if it's in a smaller group, right, and there's somebody who's just looking to start a podcast or they're just getting into it, they're on episode 3 or 4, okay, maybe now in this conversation, right, in this smaller group, we might be fit.
Totally.
Because we're on episode 73, right? So it's just reading the room and just knowing different situations and when to step up into that driver's seat, right? Just like we had talked about.
Yeah.
I don't know. You had just said that, and I was like, I don't know. This could be like a good example that
totally,
kind of ties to
man.
that.
Absolutely,
right?
bro. 100%. And I think too, just to you kind of bring things home and recap here, because there's a lot we talked about.
There is a lot that we talked about,
and there's still more to explore and to delve into. But I mean, leadership, and there's no right way or right time to be a leader. Just do it. It's just like anything else that we do, right?
Yeah.
And just have fun with it though, right?
Yeah.
And have fun, understand.
Be yourself.
Be yourself, be you.
Yeah.
And
be you and be true.
Be you. I like that. Be you and be true, baby.
Be you and be true.
Be you, be true. Go Big Blue. No, I'm just kidding.
Go Big Blue. I don't.
Michigan. Sorry. I don't know why I said that. I'm an Ohio State fan. That was really bad.
That's weird.
Wow. Might have to bleep that out. But anyways.
Yeah. Why don't we just cut that?
Wow. This cold tub is really hitting me. But
no, 100%. There were so many nuggets and so many takeaways on this.
Totally.
When you had said that you wanted to talk about this, I was like 100%.
Yeah, this is
100%. This is a phenomenal topic. And the amazing thing about a lot of topics that we talk about on here, right? It's open to so much interpretation. Right? Because my definition of leadership is different than yours, right? And it's going to be different than Tina's and my dad's and whoever else is listening, right? It's something where we can all come to the table with different viewpoints and have just an open conversation about it. Because leadership to me might mean something different than you and anybody else. And that's why it's so cool.
Yeah.
Right?
It's never ending.
It's never ending.
We could have another topic on this.
We could.
Couple episodes a month down the road, and it's going to be completely different.
With a guest, and it could be completely different.
100%.
From just a different viewpoint.
Absolutely.
Different background.
Yeah, it really can be.
Right?
It's incredible, man. So I'm excited to touch more on this later once we do have more experience too. I mean, we're gonna get more experience the next time we talk about this.
100%.
So.
No, I absolutely love it. Just like Coleton said, thank you guys so much for tuning back in, taking another step with us on this journey, on your journey, whatever journey it may be. As you guys know, we really appreciate all the continuous support.
Thank you so much.
Fires us up. Shout out to Mike, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Mike. Let's go, baby.
He loves the show, and that's why we do it. Right? As we are growing, we are getting more motivated week by week to just continue delivering this show. We love it so much. As you guys know, new episodes every single Tuesday.
Let's go.
Thank you so much for listening, watching, viewing. and subscribing and watching on Twitch.
Let's go, baby.
We'll catch you on the next one. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.
That's a good one. Ooh, that was ugly. That was really ugly.
There it is. There we go. Bring it back.
Yeah.